U.S. intelligence officials told senators on Capitol Hill that Iran could make enough enriched uranium for a nuclear bomb in just weeks. This, as the White House says the window is closing to reach a deal with Iran over its nuclear weapons program. One senator called the latest estimate on Iran's timeline for a nuclear weapon sobering and shocking. The White House argues it increases the urgency for the nuclear talks in Vienna.
Our talks with Iran have reached an urgent point on mutual return to full implementation of the JCPOA. A deal that addresses the core concerns of all sides is in sight, but if it is not reached in the coming weeks, Iran's ongoing nuclear advances will make it impossible for us to return to the JCPOA.
Critics warn the Biden administration is giving up too much in its pursuit of a deal. Benham Ben Taleblu of the Foundation for Defense of Democracy says for more than a year, the White House has been giving into Iran.
I think the Biden administration is rushing and building this case for an urgent need for a deal off of a year of premature concessions, which you saw through indirect sanctions relief, lack of enforced sanctions, turning a blind eye to illicit Iranian oil exports throughout 2021, as well as having no clear plan to push back on the Islamic Republic in the Middle East.
Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett says lifting sanctions emboldens Iran.
Lifting of sanctions and flooding this regime with billions of dollars means more rockets, more UAVs, more terror squads, more cyber attacks, more of everything. And not only against us, but also against our American allies in the region and other allies.
Ben Taleblu says the Biden administration is trying to leave the Middle East, but that the Middle East won't leave the U.S.
They're unaware that the Islamic Republic is not only looking to get America out, but to become the hegemon to fill the void, which may in fact create the groundwork for a war that may drive the U.S. back in.
Just days ago, Iran unveiled a long-range missile with a reported range of 1,440 kilometers or 900 miles, putting U.S. bases and Israel well within range. Meanwhile, more than 30 Senate Republicans sent a letter to President Biden demanding the Senate have a say over whether the U.S. rejoins the nuclear deal. The original nuclear agreement in 2015 did not receive Senate approval. Well, here in Israel, recent reports of the illegal use of spyware against Israeli civilians have moved the scandal to a new level. There are now allegations police used the technology against family and close associates of former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett called the reports unacceptable in a democratic state.
These cyber tools are intended to fight terror, intended to fight severe crime. They were not intended to be used against citizens. We will check the matter in a transparent, profound, and swift way, because all of us deserve answers.
Former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was even stronger.
This is a black day for the state of Israel. Without referring to my issue, which of course has wide implications, I think this case concerns all citizens of the country. Not right, not left, all citizens of the country without exception. Something inconceivable has happened here.
The Israeli publication Calculus first reported that police used Pegasus spyware to hack phones of Israelis, including Netanyahu's son Avner and members of his inner circle.
Officials in the police illegally spied with the most aggressive tools in the world. Citizens were followed, listened to, exposed their most hidden secrets, and who knows what improper use was made of this espionage.
This is unprecedented. It is borderline on espionage and treason by an internal authority, and this is highly problematic.
Pegasus spyware is produced by the Israeli NSO group, which maintains it doesn't disclose clients and has no access to the intelligence that's collected. The company adds that all sales are approved by Israel's defense ministry because the spyware is used by governments to fight crime and terrorism. Attorney Jonathan Klinger says current Israeli law makes it nearly impossible to install spyware programs on civilian phones except for national security issues.
This means that the collection of data was immense and unprecedented, all done illegally, creating and establishing a database that might harm everyone else, and without any legal oversight over this.
Israel's President Isaac Herzog says law enforcement agencies cannot treat the law lightly while fulfilling the law.
Whoever enforces the law must be strict with mild and severe cases alike. More than anyone, we must not lose our democracy, we must not lose our police, and certainly we must not lose the public's trust in them.
One of those who reportedly was spied on is a former Netanyahu aide turned state witness and scheduled to testify against Netanyahu. If the allegations are true, some analysts believe it could be enough to have the case against Netanyahu thrown out of court, creating yet another political earthquake.